the title, how to wet bulb yourself out of doing the laundry.
I wish I had.
That's okay. It should be on the thing. You're right. Yeah, it should be going on now. It's 5:59, so 1 minute to spare. When I need to, so as soon as the chat pops up, I'll post that Zoom link if anybody wants to join.
I'm not saying it.
All right. Join the Zoom. Hello. Happy Friday. Happy motherfucking Friday. At least on the East Coast, it's post work, or at least for me. Depends on your hours, obviously. What a fucking slave world. But welcome to Collapsing Casey. This is gonna throw this out there. How to wet bulb yourself out of doing laundry, because hey, at the edge of extinction, no more laundry will remain very soon, and that's cool. I'm fucking pretty pumped on, which being a single dude for most of my life, I've always done the laundry since I was a kid, but since I've been married, even before marriage, or the 5 years or so that we weren't married, we both did the laundry. Then I got super lazy and just said, all right, I'm working, you do the laundry. But either way, we're just trying to get out of doing laundry, right? Because laundry sucks. Carrying the trash out sucks. Doing the dishes sucks. Cleaning the grill sucks, especially when like it's fucking over. It just becomes, at this point, it just becomes right mundane, right? Just a fucking repetitive bullshit. I mean, if doing the laundry gets you through your day, and smelling good gets you through your day, more power to you. There's nothing wrong with that. I prefer not to stink in front of my coworkers and customers, but this is a collapse. Maybe there wasn't any soap at the store last night. Maybe I didn't feel like going to get soap at the store last night. Maybe there was no real reason to get up other than just make it to work on time for the last second to be on time for work. And therefore you're on time. Doesn't, and shave. I did shower this morning. This morning I didn't puke. That was huge. The first morning this week, I didn't puke before work. So that was cool. I was really pumped on that. I was like, maybe I'll feel better later. No, the urge is still there all day. So again, welcome everybody to Collapsing with Casey. Or if there's just one person, welcome to one person. Doesn't tell me who or who is. You're there. Thank you. I put the link up, the Zoom. If you're welcome to join the Zoom with me, and we'll chat. Of course, obviously you'll be live on YouTube, so and archived. So there's that. But I won't ask you of your criminal history. So don't worry about that. And if I do, and you don't want to talk about it, it's all good. I'm easy. It's just good to see everybody. Hopefully everybody's getting in. I made some notes this week because knowing that folks might not sign in or join the Zoom or whatever. I mean, and if the chat is light, I just wanted to have some talking points. So a lot of shit going on. I think I'm going to take you guys on a little rendezvous. We'll go check out climateandeconomy.com. Jason, I always fuck up his last name. I'll say it when we go there. but I'm sure most of you guys already checked that shit out. Justin, when he used to be my co-host, he would pull that up and talk about some headlines and stuff. It's a really good site for climate and economy collapse, you know. So they're trying, you know, just get into it. Like I said, join the Zoom. The links are posted. If for some reason they're not showing up for you because you came in later, something like that, let me know. I'll repost it. I'm just I'm really shocked by the low low ice melt in the Arctic. There hasn't been a lot of melt for this summer. This time of the year, this deep into summer, I honestly was expecting to see, like, we could see 300,000 km2 melt days, but because of the fires and the smoke, you know, and anybody that thinks global dimming is, you know, some bullshit or something like that. Well, here you go. Fucking fires, the smoke from the fires has dimmed the Arctic so much, blocked the sun radiation that I think it was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday. We only had like 39K. Now we did have about 60K yesterday, which is still very, very low for ice melt for this time of year in this, you know, in this day and age, you know, 2021, 2022, or 2020 era, because things have heated up so much. But because of the fires are actually kind of helping the Arctic stay, I'm not going to say intact. It hasn't been intact. It's been severely melting, obviously, throughout most of our lifetime. I'm almost 50, and it's been severely melting in my lifetime, as we are over 200 years into, you know, digging up all the fossil fuels in the on the planet, I should say, burning them up into the atmosphere, and everyone's running around like, you know, that's never gonna kill us, and everything's fine. So it's just it's retarded. So yeah, we've gotten severe global dimming in the Arctic to slow the melt. We've been at the number one in history, the lowest ice level per day in history, but now we're up to 5. We're 5th. So that's really promising if you like life. And I mean, I like life, but we've destroyed the planet so much. Fucking trout and 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 and, uh, and salmon are fucking dying all over the place because of wet bulb temperatures, because of the heat. The streams are warming up too much for them. They're developing these sores. That's all on climate and economy. So if we go there, we you know, I'll show you guys that if you haven't seen it. It's disgusting. These fish, because of the heat, develops these sores and they die a slow, painful death. It's fucking horrible, and that's what's really hard. We're starting to see before our very own eyes. You know, it used to be years ago, because we're in, you know, the mass extinction event started back in the 2000s, obviously. So we're or 2010. We're very, very hardcore 10 years deep into it, and you know, we're so deep into it that you know, every once in a while you would see, like, you know, oh, so and, you know, the white rhino, the southern, I think it was southern, northern, I forget. White rhino was extinct, and even people are going, oh, they're not extinct, they're still in zoos. No, they are fucking not. I forget if it's the northern or the southern, but they are, that species is extinct. Even if they were still in zoos, there's not enough you know, breed line to hey, we're gonna fix the planet and everything's gonna be cool and we'll bring back the rhinos, right? It doesn't fucking work like that. It's really disgusting. It's disgusting to see the seas dying, and the fish in the rivers and everything else that's, you know, that we've annihilated. over these last, well, I mean, more than 10 years. It's been a trajectory for, we've been on this path, right? For, you know, uh, hey, Back to Earth, what's up, man? Trish, Indigo, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Yeah, I I wrote out a little bit of stuff to I wanted to go over. So this was cool. We I announced a race last Sunday, and thankfully Tammy went with me. It was really hot. It was really miserable. Good racing. You know, had a good time otherwise. Um, you know, other than being surrounded by narcissists who think everything's great and is going to be reinstated or something. You know, that kind of shit. That kind of mentality for the most part. But still, you know. Uh, so anyway, we get back Sunday night, and Tammy's looking for the Olympics because being a former BMX racer, not that I was any good, but I love BMX still to this day. And BMX got into the became an Olympic sport in 2000. So I didn't even realize, I forgot how long ago that was. So anyway, we're watching, ABC News comes on, and we just watched it, and it was the first whole section. The first whole section was about climate and COVID. COVID first. They covered COVID really well, and I'm surprised because again they didn't just blow it off and go, you know, like they in the beginning it's a hoax and fucking what a stupid fucking system. So anyway, sorry to go rant. We got home and there was a section about COVID. It was pretty good, you know, talking about the Delta variant and more shutdowns coming across the you know, other countries and how severe that is, even if you're vaxxed. You know, and then they actually showed a lot of floods, man. They showed flooding throughout the world from many countries. It was gnarly. It was super gnarly. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then at the end of the segment, the pulling no punches really for mainstream media, fucking ABC News, the guy goes, "It's only going to get worse as the planet heats up." He fucking said that. Wow, I was shocked. I was so shocked. And talking to a friend of mine out in Phoenix, who I think um, might be in the chat here, uh, said the same thing on their local news. So that, you know, there it's kind of becoming a little bit more mainstream, but at the same time, it's still the lie that, you know, we've still got time and all this. And you know, with the dimming of the Arctic, maybe we do have a little bit of time, but what cannot maintain is the economy. We cannot grow food to feed everyone when you're having all these heat waves. Food doesn't grow above 104 Fahrenheit. And I'm sorry, I don't know the Celsius because I'm so red-blooded American that I'm stupid like that, and I apologize for that. I really am embarrassed to not know the centigrade fact because I should. But you know what I mean. Uh, so we're losing our ability to grow food. Food is dying, um, and we're going to, even though the smoke is helping the Arctic not melt so bad because of global dimming, that it's dimming the Arctic, but we're losing industrial civilization. I sell heavy equipment truck parts. There's a depth sensor that all Peterbilt and Kenworth trucks use. It's the same part number across the board, but one has a 1 in it, another version has 2 in it, another version has a 3 in it. They're for different models, but it's essentially the same part depending on the model, and they're back ordered and back weeks. I've heard from 2 weeks to 6 to 8 weeks. Mostly the 6 to 8 is what I'm getting. I called a bunch of dealers all over the country in the last 2 days while I was at work. Found one, and we're trying to find another one to put on the shelf. And our trucks don't deliver the food, but it's the same trucks that do deliver the food and gas and everything. Our trucks do sweep streets, clean out the sewers and the gutters and stuff. So we're the place I work for is called environmental. Even nobody has a fucking clue about environmental. So it's it's all really looking really bad. Even though the good news and I I'm saying the good news is that the Arctic is not melting as fast as it's. Somebody made a point that is a good point. Yeah, I lost. Oh yeah, Trish said the Arctic ice thickness is gone. Extent is deceiving. Yeah, exactly, Trish. That's why I thought we would see 300,000 K melt days because the ice was so thin that once we got into the heat of summer, mid late July, all throughout August, we would see 100. I thought we'd see 300K, and we're not. We're seeing like I said, Thursday was 39K, so that's very very low for a melt day in the summer in this these times. So that was very promising. Everything else, it's it's kind of like robbing Peter to pay Paul, I guess, when you look at it like that, because the fires obviously are horrific and horrendous. And to say, oh, the fires are saving us because it's dimming the Arctic, that's that's not a good thing, right? It's 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 still yeah, it's kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. And I think the earth is kind of doing some of that. Yeah, Trish, you're right. We could still see massive, massive melt days. I think we were on target earlier when we were at the lowest satellite record. I think we were on target to hit BOE, the Blue Ocean event in the Arctic, by next month, within a month, sometime in August, no later than sometime in September. Melt rate that's going on right now, we might actually get through that. We might get another winter. Maybe the winter will bring some different rains, cool down fires, re-wet the West Coast. I don't know. I'm not trying to be hopeful or anything like that because I just don't know, and I'm not hopeful at all. That's another thing I wanted to bring up. I've had a really shitty, stupid fucking week with got two birth announcements. I had one at work, I think Tuesday. One of our techs, we're gonna have a baby shower Wednesday at lunch. Lunch brought in, free lunch, and you can donate money to the tech. Dude, fuck, I gotta get the fuck out. I'm gonna leave for lunch. I gotta get the fuck away from these people. What the fuck? How fucking crazy and selfish and stupid are you for having a fucking baby right now? And this person I know through conservation, big conservation advocate, activist, animal, this person works for the Amphibian Foundation in Atlanta. I'm having a baby. Woo, hey, hey, celebration. I'm having the fuck, dude. These people are living in fucking bullshit lies. And it's so selfish. And that's why I had to get the fuck away from all of any kind of group or people or whatever that's like, oh, it's okay, man. Just let people live, man. Well then let's just keep fucking bombing the planet because that's what we're gonna do. It's so goddamn frustrating, dude. It's so fucking frustrating. exist. Morons. And somebody that works in conservation, not just volunteers. I volunteered. I didn't work. I didn't actually paid to be a part, to go and help. But this person makes money, and so many others, just like Indy Irwin and this dude named fucking Chandler at Orient Society that was a dick to me, and he's probably having a kid right about now. Fuck all these idiots. It's so hard to go. Yeah, really, it's cool to enter this world. Jesus, even if we weren't going extinct, there's almost 8 billion of us. You think, like Bill Hicks said, can you stop your rutting for a minute while we figure out this food air deal? I would add space and not outer space, but I mean fucking traffic and room, and not living in boxes and building a box on top of another box for somebody over to live in, just so they can fucking go to work their entire lives to afford that fucking box, that whole bed that they can sleep in. If you haven't already got the gist, I'm really looking forward to the rebreather at this point. Fuck. God, it's just a fucking nightmare. Getting up every morning, throwing up, woo, go to work. Oh, and yeah, so got some other notes too. So I'm excited to tell you guys too, if you didn't already know, I'm going to be interviewing John Doyle hopefully next week, and it might not be on the live stream. I mean, I'll probably live stream it, but it might not be at a regular time. But I'll let you guys know when we set it up. But I'm really excited about him. Check out, I had a really cool interview with Stephen Densmore. He used to help me out with my newspaper, and he's in NBL. He understands, gets it, and so I think we had a really good, cool talk, and check that out. And we're going through my notes, trying to give you yeah, I just see everyone just at work and family, no matter what the situation, fucking over each other, being shitty to each other. And that's why I have a hard time with Only Love Remains, because personally, yeah, you can definitely make that happen within yourself, as far as choosing who you spend your time with. But when you go to work, you don't have that choice. And you have to go to work, right? If you don't have to go to work, you still have to go out and gather materials. You have to spend money and buy things and order things, and and then if you have work done at your home, or even people over to help you do the work, or whatever it is that you do, you still have to try to finagle your way through dealing with people, and it sucks because everyone's in such denial that it's just tiresome. It's just absolutely a mind fuck. It's tiresome, and it wears you down to basically a grain of sand, which is what we will all be very soon. I just don't know how. Obviously, nobody can tell, but things are just still happening, really quick. Let me know in the chat, man, how you guys are doing. Yeah, like Trish said, fires added dimming, but they also deposit ash into the ice, making the ice darker. When the sun does break through, that's a very good point, Trish. Yes, yes, that is a very good point. We're going to see some, because especially how close the Arctic is to those fires. So you're seeing heavy, heavy smoke, build up over the Arctic. also going to see more ash. I've even living on the East Coast. It's fucking weird, man. It's apocalyptic because I've had times where I've seen the smoke over all the way over here. I think it's more concentrated in the Northeast versus the Southeast. And now we're seeing fucking tornadoes are headed north. The tornado alley has definitely moved north, in my opinion. It's really, really talked about the Arctic and yeah. Anything that you guys want to bring up, join the Zoom or even post in the chat, and I'll comment and have a conversation. So we're about like 25 minutes in. Yeah. Like destruction, death and destruction and collapse. It's coming at us from every angle, right? Just every fucking angle. Never before have you had to deal with it like this. So that's a huge stress, huge level of stress like none other than before. And thanks to Guy for pointing out that we are in and he pointed this out over a year ago. It's not a new thing. We are in a depression that's worse than the Great Depression, but nobody will say it. Nobody will connect the dots, or even if they do, they won't come out and say it publicly because that would look bad, right? That would be kind of freaky because no depression can be any greater ever than the Great Depression, right? You can't, it'll never get that bad again. Well, fuck yeah, it's way better now, way worse now. It's getting better. I'm gonna go play football next week. I'm gonna get me a little exercise program. I'm gonna lose my belly and my boobies and whatnot, and I'm gonna go get me a football scholarship. And we're literally going dark on all fronts, facing that on all fronts. That's why I try to point out the trucking industry are hard to get. Even shit that's very common, all trucks need, all trucks go through filters. You got to change your oil, not just your engine oil, but your fuel filter oil, your air filter, your cabin air, all these filters, and your fuel water separator. And a lot of these parts are becoming hard to get. We're seeing the beginning signs of massive transport failures. And I don't work in airplanes, the aviation industry, but I can't even imagine how that is. I know gas is, it's been mentioned that gas is becoming harder and harder to get. I think it was American Airlines told all their pilots to conserve gas because there's not much coming in. So that's pretty right. We need air transport for global food supplies, everything, right? It's just, it's, I mentioned earlier we were watching the Olympics. The Olympics, we were watching, this was kind of cool, canoeing, slalom canoeing, and watching this is in Tokyo, which is incredible that they're swimming in Fukushima water. Oh, sorry to skip ahead, but the surfing, the way you can watch the waves break, and the waves are fucking brown, dude. That water looks dead, and these athletes are out there surfing in it. It just looks fucking apocalyptic. And the slalom was like thousands of gallons of water. Was that there was 4 pumps, many people are out of water in a drought, and yeah, 3,000 gallons per second of water being pumped through the man-made canoeing course at the Olympics by 4,000 second. That is fucking insane. And yet people are, but if you're rich, you got water, somewhat maybe. Let's see how you feel tomorrow after you drink that. It's so fucked up. And so speaking of the Olympics too, something that was a really good how fucked our medical system is in the USA. This cyclist had an accident and he's got $200,000 medical bills. He was on, he was on pace to medal at the Olympics. Instead, now he's got $200,000 medical bills that will bankrupt him. He'll lose everything. He'll lose his shit. Unless, but he's Olympic athlete. Somebody else gone through, at least maybe for now. Who knows? I dealt with a lot of that friends in motocross and people followed in motocross, top athletes, paralyzed. And for the first run of things, they, they got love and they got some help. But years down the line, man, that shit stops. That shit stops. Sorry, back to earth. It's probably connection, really, because I haven't moved around that much. And internet connections are getting really shitty. I'm all the time, I'm getting lags here and there on just loading a page, whether I'm at work, here. So I apologize. I'm just trying to wet bulb myself out of doing the laundry because no more laundry, right? Yeah, that's kind of my whole rant on, the the Olympics and rich people, and the redirecting of water and supplies to just keep the facade going, keep the oh look the Olympics and look at all that water. I don't know. Um, yeah, I like what you said. Back to earth, the height of oxymoronic and stupidity too. Those attitudes doomed everyone a long, long time ago. Yeah, I was doomed. I agree, man. I was doomed. That was a term. That was like a mentality. I had no idea. I had no idea that there was, even though we're like a 1%, but I didn't even realize that there was like a real true 1% of us out there who really got it, understood, connected the dots. And then obviously you find somebody like Guy and near-term human extinction, then you can kind of meet other people through groups and stuff like that, which is really important because, we are, as human animals, like he says, we need community. But we don't fucking have community. There is literally, the edge of extinction, only no community remains. Except for the internet, or, we can call each other from fucking coast to coast or another country, do a Zoom or message each other or do a message call or something, Signal or whatever app, WhatsApp or whatever. Other than that, though, we're not able to work together. We're not able to be in each other's household so that we can be on the same page. Other than me, I'm super lucky because I've got a wife who gets it. But most people that are married don't have a spouse that gets it. And even if they do, the kids generally don't get it. Or a lot of times, especially nowadays, people live with in-laws or have their in-laws live with them because they're getting old. And, there is no hospice. Who the fuck can afford to throw, grandma and grandpa or mom and dad, depending on how old you are, into a facility? That shit is outrageous. The cost is outrageous. There's no fucking medical, there's no insurance, there's nothing that pays for it other than fucking deep pockets. And most likely, if you have deep pockets, you were a narcissist. So really, none of us have that, that luxury, right? To have deep pockets. I mean, that's why I never had kids. I never had kids because I saw this shit from when I was 5. I remember seeing apartment buildings, and I was like, wait, those kids live in a box on top of each other, and they don't have a yard to play in? Why are people still breeding? I just didn't get it. It didn't make sense to me. It seemed very simple. No, man. Nope. I'm weird. I'm the weird one. We're the weird ones. That's just normal. It's just what you do. You have 10 kids, send them off to school, throw them on a fucking yellow bus, let the government indoctrinate them and teach them that algebra is really important, so that they can go and fucking work at Burger King for $7.75 an hour, so they can feed us. What a fucking shit. What a fuck. Going through. Yeah, there's I'm kind of at the point where I don't think I have else to say. If anybody has anything they want to cover, jump on the Zoom. Otherwise, I know I try to do an hour with you guys, but I think I've kind of laid out what I had to say, and I don't want to bore you guys either, because nobody wants to hear a privileged rant. Even though I've lived paycheck to paycheck, but I have a job. Most people can't even fucking do that. So believe me, I do appreciate that. So really feel for the truly poor, have suffered, are suffering, will continue to suffer because of our wars, what we've done to the planet, what we do to each other. We will war, only love remains. No, it doesn't. We will war until there are only two people so far apart that they can't reach each other to fight over something. Then humanity will peace. But it doesn't really work like that, because that's not really peace either, right? So it's just, but I do want to remind everybody, if you haven't seen, Guy and Kevin are doing a live stream tomorrow, Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm looking forward to that because I love Kevin, his take on things, and obviously Guy is the scientist. He can lay out the data, the facts, the peer-reviewed information, which is very important, very, very real. No one else is doing that, obviously. And then you got Kevin. He's dissecting the conservative information of the science, and really breaking it down, and kind of telling us how fucked we are, even more so than Guy, because obviously Guy, I don't want to say play scientist role, because he's not playing. That's just that's what he is. He has to maintain that scientist image, probably, as a little more free. And I like that. Really like that. Together, just like I've said many times, I wish the Nature Bats last radio show was with no guests, just Guy and Kevin, being real. More to talk about, covered. It would have been a lot more informative, and that's why I like Guy and Kevin do the live stream. on Nature channel. So I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow there. I'm planning on checking it out live. Not I'll a lot. They're very way more informative than me, but maybe some of the I feel like I can just talk and let it all out there and let my frustrations frustrate, you know. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And yeah, please stay tuned. Hopefully next week be interviewing John Doyle. John he does presentations on the planet becoming 10C plus by 2026. Fully agree with. But Sam Karana recently talked about and laid out some good stuff that we could be at 18C plus 18 20. And I mentioned that to John in an email when we were talking about doing the interview, and he said, Sam's on it. I fully agree. So yeah, it's going to be a gnarly conversation because John is on board with the harshness, the reality of where we're headed. He does his own presentations. So his take will be very interesting. I hope you guys can tune in and enjoy. And thank you guys for I hope you and have a good night. Enjoy the rest. Have the time or real weekend for you. Me, I'm off for the next 2 days, and I'm really thankful for that because I've been working 6-7 days a bit lately, and time is all we have, and we don't have much of it. Spend it all working, unless you really do like to, but most people would rather, spend their time on their own time, right? Or else they would just live at work. And there's another thing that I started to get winded here, but I would always see people when I was younger. I would always see people that loved their job, that worked overtime and all this because they hated their fucking house. They hated their wife, their kids. They didn't want to fucking go home. It was more productive and relaxing to be at fucking work and to go to the house. They fucking whether they built it or they bought it with their money from working these jobs. That's fucked up, man. And I've seen that my entire life. And I always knew. I said, dude, the minute I don't want to fucking go home, I won't. I won't fucking go home, and I'll go somewhere else, even if it's to become ashes. Um, no, it's not fucking worth it. And I've always done my best to make my home a sanctuary. And I, I think I compared to others, I in that. So can I can leave happily, and I'm not a fucking joy to be around. I can be I can fly off at the handle. I can get angry. I can't get angry at my coworker, but I can bring that shit home, man. I can totally bring that shit home. That's fucked. Um, I, I hopefully I don't do that too much. It happens. I think it happens with everybody. And I'm tired of it. Fucking tired of it. Be a fucking asshole to your family. Be a fucking asshole to your spouse. You know, um, like I said, if you do it at work, you get fired. Bring it home, it's just fucking awkward period of time. What a fucking show, man. You guys have we'll collapse more and about it later. Thank y'all.